It's unfair to the ecosystem, right? To your point, your son's invested, people are paying money to come see teams play. Like it is, it's disheartening and it's just ugly to watch. Like it's just boring to watch.
The NBA is about to change the draft again. And this time, the league isn't just tweaking the lottery, they're talking about flattening odds, freezing records, and limiting how often teams can pick at the top. Changes that could completely reshape how teams rebuild. But here's the real question. Is tanking actually a major problem, or is the NBA about to fix something that isn't broken and create a bigger issue? For years, the NBA has tried to stop teams from losing on purpose, from the process era Sixers to the recent rebuilds like the Spurs. The league has always been uncomfortable with teams bottoming out for a superstar. Now, new ideas are being discussed that could dramatically change how the lottery works. Some of the proposals include flattening odds across more teams, freezing lottery positions at the trade deadline, and limiting how often teams can pick at the top. On the surface, it sounds like this could discourage tanking, but once you look at it closer, these changes might actually hurt the teams that need help the most. One of the biggest ideas is flattening lottery odds even more. That means the worst team wouldn't have much of a better chance than a mid-level lottery team. The logic is simple. If losing more doesn't significantly improve your odds, teams won't tank as aggressively. But here's the problem. Bad teams are bad for a reason. They don't have a star talent, they lack depth, and most of the time, they don't have a clear future. Those teams need elite players more than anyone. If the worst teams lose their advantage, you're not discouraging tanking, you're just making it harder for struggling franchises to climb out of the bottom. And that's how rebuilds turn into a long-term process. Another proposal being discussed is freezing lottery odds at the trade deadline. That goal is to stop teams from tanking late in the season, but this actually creates a new incentive. If your draft position locks in at the deadline, teams will just start tanking earlier. Instead of late season tanking, you'll see teams tanking from the beginning of the year. There's also been discussion about giving lottery odds to play-in teams, but that defeats the purpose of the draft. The lottery is supposed to help struggling teams, not reward teams that were already competitive. Some ideas go even further. For example, preventing teams from picking top 4 in consecutive years, or limiting teams that finish near the bottom multiple seasons in a row. But this ignores one major reality. The draft isn't guaranteed. Teams miss all the time. You could tank 2 years in a row and still come away without a franchise player. Sometimes teams are bad because of injuries, sometimes because of the front office mistakes, sometimes because the rebuild simply didn't work. Punishing those teams only keeps them stuck at the bottom for even longer. This brings up the bigger question. Is tanking actually hurting the NBA right now? Because when you look around the league, most teams are trying to win. The play-in tournament has kept more teams competitive late in the season. Lottery odds were flattened a few years ago, and the league already fines teams for obvious tanking. In reality, full-scale tanking is rare, and when it does happen, it usually doesn't last long. So making major structural changes could be an overreaction to a problem that's already under control. To be fair, Adam Silver is the most aggressive commissioner in league history. He's willing to experiment, he's always looking for ways to increase engagement, and from a business perspective, the NBA is thriving. Revenue is growing, interest is expanding, and the league is continuing to evolve. But the draft isn't just another experiment, it's the foundation of competitive balance across the entire league. And changing that foundation comes with real risk. The NBA wants to eliminate tanking, but rebuilding isn't the enemy, it's how smaller markets survive. If the worst teams don't have a realistic path to elite talent, the same contenders will dominate year after year. Competitive balance isn't created by punishing bad teams, it's created by giving them a real chance to become a good franchise. The NBA is trying to protect the league's future, but if these changes go too far, they might end up breaking the system that keeps the league competitive in the first place. If you made it this far, comment below. Is tanking actually a problem, or is the NBA overreacting? And if you want more NBA breakdowns like this, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.